Welcome to the technology of the stupid. I bought this mic, and I guess it doesn't want to work with Substack. I work with Mike. We did a podcast last night. It's up on YouTube and Substack. But I thought I'd show up and see how you guys are doing. Kind of walk you through some craziness because today, Friday, man, it was like whoosh, which is normal for the Trump administration. Especially, let's talk about the first thing that happened today. I'm not going to talk about Don Lemon was the first thing that happened. But that's tied into the release of 3 million Epstein files. Okay. 3 fucking million Epstein files. And they started to go through them, and there's some really bad shit in there for Trump. Bad, bad. I mean, abuse of children. And the one thing I'm hearing, and then they went in and started trying to delete some of the files. As they said, the internet's forever. You try to delete files, you try to delete files that people already downloaded because they know you and people downloaded. And now there's some really stuff out there, which I think they try to get ahead of it with the arrest of Don Lemon. And let's talk about that real quick because everyone is freaking the fuck out. Okay, excuse me while I make myself presentable to you. That is absolutely the worst thing that these incompetent assholes could do. Okay. That's right up when they raided here in Georgia, the Fulton County uh, election office looking for shit. You know what they got? They got nothing. They will continue to get nothing. Why they're going to get nothing? Because that was 6 years ago. They're not going to find any evidence. And if they want to find evidence, they have to prosecute. They go to prosecute, it's already been adjudicated and there's no evidence. There's nothing there. They're relitigating the same thing and the same rumors that came before. It's, again, everyone with me, a distraction. That tried to distract from Minneapolis. That later tried to distract from Epstein that came out today. And the distraction for Epstein today was Don Lemon getting arrested. Don Lemon, as we all know, the reason he got arrested is that he was in Minneapolis covering the siege of Minneapolis by ICE. And he came there to document it. And, well, that went well. And he did everything. I mean, he was doing right in front of him. He gets a phone call from a group, and you guys probably know this, but I'm going to back up on it. He gets a phone call from a group. He goes, hey, we're going to do a protest as a church because one of their members is an ICE field agent, is a field leader. I mean, a boss. So they go in their church, they disrupt the service, which is open to everybody, make their comments, and he covers it. Understand one thing about evangelicals and Christian fascists. They always think that they're being persecuted. It doesn't matter. They always think that we're persecuted. Listen when they speak, right? The whole thing is about we're all out to get Christians, which is not true. And they arrested a Senate candidate in Minnesota. Which one, Spacer? Because did they arrest Klobuchar? Because the Republican guy quit in Minnesota. If you can inform me, I appreciate it. Spacer's saying they arrested a lot of people in Minnesota cover their asses. They also arrested a Senate candidate in Minnesota. His prospects may have went up. I don't know who that is, but we'll find out in a moment. Thank you, Spacer, for that information. But so they arrested Don Lemon. Now, no, don't worry about it. I'm cool. I'm going to rant. So I'm your entertainment today, guys, because the whole week has been shit between medical issues and a lot of things, stress. And I'm trying to be, what I'm going to be today is a little more is the voice of reason. And it's hard to be the voice of reason when all this shit is flowing around us. You see all this stuff. But I'm gonna come back to that in a minute. Um, let's talk about Don Lemon. So he got arrested. Now they tried to arrest him last week. They couldn't because the judge said, "For what?" They tried to arrest. They arrested him on. Okay, can you see me? It's glitching. It's glitching. Can you hear me? Well, I don't know how this thing works. Okay. Well, I'm recording, so I'll go with it. Um, so they arrested him today. They tried to file charges and arrested him. GML Lundy, and he looked okay to me. He might be Vincent stuff. Thank you, Spacer. Is he a Democrat or a Republican? I'm guessing a Dem. He's probably going to be. It's probably going to be the the primary for A.B. Klobuchar. So, good boy, a state Senate candidate. Good for him. He's out on the streets. See, he was at the church protest. Okay, yeah. So this is what they're doing. Okay, first things first, they couldn't arrest Don Lemon the first time because they took it to the judge. What they're trying to arrest him on, if you remember, during the height of the protest at abortion clinics, they were trying to block the way of women trying to get into the clinics. Okay, and so a law came out is that you can protest, but you can't block someone's access to a building for health or for anything. Okay, so he blocked. So that's who they're trying. That's how they're trying to arrest him. And the senator, another journalist named I think her name is Frost. Um, and yeah, they're going after all these people in the First Amendment because they're scared. Yeah, good luck going to case. It's going to get thrown out. It's the First Amendment. Okay, it's the First Amendment. There's no threats. They're speaking up for everything. They're just standing there filming. That's why they keep arresting people saying they're interfering with a federal investigation. We all know that is bullshit. That they're standing there. ICE is the one that's causing the chaos. But to go back to Lemon, the judge wouldn't sign an arrest warrant. Okay, so they went to a appeals judge, a federal appeals judge, and they said no. There's a reason to arrest him. So they went, and for the other people too, they got arrest warrants from a grand jury. As you know, the old saying goes, you can get a ham sandwich charged for murder with a grand jury. So they got their warrant on that. And to be performative, because Pax Patel is a little piece of shit, they arrested him while he was covering the Grammys. Got to show they're tough. Well, they didn't tell the grand jury about the rejection of the two judges to get the arrest warrant. And good luck dragging that into court with all those reporters and all the other people that were in the church. They're not going to get any conviction. One of them is a civil rights lawyer. It ain't happening. Okay. This is a violation of the First Amendment. They were not doing anything. They were not blocking that. And just because it's an evangelical church that basically supports ICE, they're trying to cover it. And also, this is distraction. What happened with the release of the Epstein files? It's going nowhere. Period. End discussion. There is no fucking way. Okay. If a judge or even if they bring it to trial in Minneapolis or anywhere in this country, do you think a jury is going to convict Don Lemon and those people for protesting against ICE? The thing about it is that it was in a church. It's sacred. Really. ICE has been going into churches for months. Churches are supposed to be sanctuary for people. They've been busting into churches for months. Don't give me that hypocritical bullshit. That's what we're dealing with, is hypocritical bullshit through all this. Okay. There is no chaos. The only chaos in the streets that's going on for Minnesota, Minneapolis, and the other cities is the chaos that ICE brings with it. It's simple as that. ICE is basically agents of chaos to try to um, ginny up an excuse for them to get more violent. And none of the people have been violent. None. They've only tried to defend themselves when ICE jumps on them. It's all stupid. It's a bunch of, beta men who were giving their Call of Duty, as you remember from what happened after Alex Peretti was murdered, their Call of Duty, fantasies. But it's just sad. And so that's not going in court. Okay. The real thing that the Trump administration is going to have to find out, kind of deal with, is these Epstein files are not good. Some of these are just horrendous for Trump. And the one thing that keeps walking through my mind, if Donald Trump was named in witnesses for doing horrible things to children, why the fuck was he not prosecuted by the Biden administration? I don't give a fuck about the Giselle Maxwell bullshit. If that was in there, there should have been investigations open on him. There should have been. There's still, if a politician commits a crime, they commit a crime. It's a fucking crime. Okay, that's it. And I mean, Trump is using the DOJ to weaponize anyway, and that's a sad thing about it. There's an article in the New York Times today about FBI agents talking about Kash Patel, those who have left and those they've got on talking for on the not telling their name, on anonymity, and they're basically describing a FBI that's basically broken. As one agent said, "We're not street cops. They got us on the street looking for immigrants. That's not our job. Our job, we are investigating complicated crimes like with human trafficking, drugs, money laundering, terrorism. That's what the FBI does." Kash Patel has turned them into a little small town police force, they feel like. Oh, and it gets better. One agent says that Kash Patel doesn't like to do meetings. He doesn't like to sit with the agents in meetings. He wants to be out. Okay. They said he wants to go jet skiing. He wants to go to premier soccer games. They say he's not serious. The only thing that's serious is following Donald Trump's rules and Donald Trump's requests. That's it. That's what we're seeing here. What happened in Georgia, I believe personally, is that after Minneapolis, and they're seeing Trump is starting to look for heads to roll. Kash Patel and Pam Bondi, whose heads would be on the chopping block too, went out and just basically said, "Hey, let me do you a solid." And they're going back to 2020 because he doesn't like to lose, but he got lost. All right. He lost the 2020 election. He lost in Georgia by 11,000 votes. They counted it twice. They counted it 3 times, actually, through court order. They've gone through every inch of that. There's no there. He lost Georgia in 2020. But him, that's him doing the solid because his demented ego needs to be stroked. It's sad. It's sad. That's where we're at right now with the president of the United States because he's desperate. I want to say one thing because all I saw after the Georgia thing came out and then Don Lemon got arrested and the other journalists got arrested and those people got arrested, that everyone flipped the fuck out. First on the Georgia thing, everyone's saying, "Yep, that's it. That's it. The midterms are over. He's going to do it. He's going to make sure that he can change it. He's going to cheat." I don't know how. They're going to have it at the state level. Okay. Oh, he's going to use ICE to intimidate people in the voter lines. Good fucking luck. No one's scared of ICE agents. They're not. There would just be riot fights trying to prevent people from voting. Trust me. If he thinks he can cancel the midterms, there would be an outbreak of protests 3 times what you're seeing right now for ICE. Just make it clear. Today was a shutdown. Don't work, don't buy anything, nothing. And there were a lot of protests. They were in protests in Nebraska at a high school. A lot of the teenagers, yeah, he failed. Exactly, Spacer. He did fail in 2020. And they're going to say, well, he'll stop postal. He's going to stop. He's going to stop the mail-in ballots. Can't stop it. First of all, we're in the election year. Congress, A, won't do it. B, there would be no appetite for it. And Mike Johnson won't do it. He'll try, but it won't get through. People won't do it because Republicans are already scared. You can't. It's not going to work. And I keep telling you, they're not going to. He's going to find a way. He can't. He can't. And it's going to be such a big victory. They can't say they cheated. Sorry. Let's face it, because I know there are a lot of conspiracy theorists out there about Elon Musk and the electoral votes and what's going on with what happened in 2024. First of all, this is not a national election, it's state by state. Okay, there's no national election going on. 2, let's face it, Kamala Harris lost because a majority of those people from the far right and the far left didn't want to, and the middle, you so-called moderates, didn't want to vote for a black woman for president. Own it. Own your racism, own your misogyny, okay? That goes for my Latino brothers and sisters. Fuck you. You say you did it for Trump because Trump was going to get rid of the illegals that didn't come here legally. Fuck you. You're on the chopping block. How you Cubans feeling about that? Yeah, I thought so. No, because you wouldn't want to vote for most Latino men, a woman, especially a black woman. And a lot of black men do want to vote for a black woman for president. Just face it. That's what happened. Okay? And everything that Kamala Harris said has come to fruition. The taking of our money. You know, Donald Trump has made $1.4 billion since he's been in his presidency. Through all his little deals and shit. That, I don't think that even counts the $500 million of Venezuela oil he stole and put in a Qatar account that only he can access. Okay? His family and everyone is still cutting deals. People in the cabinet and Howard Lutkin are cutting deals. Scott Bassett. Everyone's grifting all this off us. Okay? Off us. That IRS thing, that $10 billion thing, it's just A, another distraction, and B, he's looking for an escape hatch, probably, for money. You're suing yourself for something that happened years ago. I mean, it's insane. The problem is there are no guardrails right now. With Congress, there's no guardrails with the Department of Justice. Pam Bondi thinks that she's all the shit. Guess what, Pam? Do you remember the name John Mitchell? He was the Attorney General during the Nixon years. He was one of those that helped Nixon cover up. He was Nixon's buddy. John Mitchell went to jail for what he did in Watergate conspiracy. Nixon did not. You're going to jail, Pam. You don't get it. Eventually, you are going to jail. All you little suckers are going to jail. Yeah, yeah, get Alberta. That is the dumbest thing. Look, I know you Canadians, no offense, Vincent, you Canadians into Brent if she shows up. No offense to Canadians, but you basically have some people that are dumb fucks like we do. And those people in Alberta, if I'm correct, Alberta is a pretty good sized farming area. Yeah, this tracks. There's some of them a bunch of shit. Okay. Yeah, Alberta, they want to separate. What are you going to separate for? What are you going to do? Your premier, I understand, is someone like a Trump humper trying to cut all budgets and stuff to feed the rich. If it's a pretty big size agricultural thing. So it's kind of like looking at Nebraska and Oklahoma and all that Midwest combined. So farmers aren't the brightest tools. I don't know why you want to get away from that because do you want to pay for your health care? Do you want that? It's just ignorance. It's not going to work. It's not. Okay. These people are upset because your prime minister is doing his best for his country without the United States. He's talking to China. He's talking to other countries. He's building a solid base for Canada without the United States. Okay. And the only ones fighting him are conservatives in your country, Canadians, that are Trump humpers. Their version of the Trump humper. Face it. Okay. Those people in Alberta who want to do some kind of separation from Canada to be their own country are Trump humpers. They're no difference. They are loyal to Donald Trump. Period. They are not Canadian. They are America light. It's simple as that. They are MAGA light. They are no different than any MAGA puke here in the United States. But here in the U.S., we're only got 30% of them. They're still a minority. They just scream loud. They're just the Trump administration is just fucking with them because they can. It's fucking with. It's trying to foment unrest because they can, and they're pissed at your prime minister, all that, blah 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 blah. You know, the ironic thing is that your current prime minister shouldn't have won the election. He only won the election because Trump turned on Canada, the 51st state, and your conservative people kind of went along with it. Didn't basically say, "Oh hell no," and that's why you have a progressive government right now. Good luck, fucking good luck. It's just dumb. But this is just another distraction because the Epstein files, 3,000 more files came out, and holy shit. It is not gone. Spacer, Alberta is considered the Texas of Canada from what I hear. Oh, great. The rest of Canada won't sign onto it. Ironically, I've been watching the Fallout show and they showed what would happen if Canada was annexed by the US. And the recent episode showed how Canadians will fight tooth and nail for their sovereignty. It's in their blood. Canadians can have scary and have deep respect for Canada, how hard they fight in their history. Oh yeah. The Canadians have a rep. You know why we have the Geneva Convention? It's because of the Canadians during World War One. Yeah, Canada is. You know what? They're a good neighbor. They're who they are. We're a bad neighbor. We just got dumb fucks who have no idea, and a president who's sucking out of his mind. Okay, there's not much I can say about that other than we brought this on ourselves, and I apologize for all the shit that's happening. All right. And within your country, there are a lot of people who are affected by our bullshit. Um, yeah. Or yeah, you burnt down the White House. Yeah. No fucking yeah. I mean, you don't play. And that's the thing. I don't it's sad to watch the idiots in my country. The idiots here. And I'm not just talking about the Trumpers, just the idiots overall. They just don't know what's going on. They're finding out right now. Let me make a couple quick things here about the economy. How should I put it? We're kind of fucked. Okay. Little by little, things are starting to unravel. Amazon laid off. UPS laid off. It's starting to affect. The only thing it's not affecting is stock market, but effectively, as you saw when they got into a fight over Greenland and the Netherlands basically called in 100 million, called in treasury bonds, the stock market felt it. Let me make it clear. If the United States really wanted, if they really wanted to push the United States, you start selling treasury bonds. You dump bonds, billions of it. You would break the economy of the United States. And even Trump, in his stupidity, knows this. Even all the dumb asses around him, you know, kissing his ass during the cabinet meetings that are on TV, which is disgusting, know that. They push as far as they can. Okay. The Greenland thing is done. The Greenland thing is done because Trump did not expect Europe to act like they did. Those guys thought Europe was going to run. Europe said, okay, let me tell you how we're going to do this. And they landed NATO troops. They put NATO troops in Greenland for, um, you know, for just, we're going to do a few training exercises. They meant business. They sent ships. The Germans sent ships. Trump went to the meeting in Davos and got his ass handed to him. Why? Because they knew he's an idiot. He was embarrassed. He embarrassed us. It's simple. He found out really quickly that the Europe in his stupid mind doesn't exist. NATO can live without the United States. I'll be honest. If Trump wanted to pull on NATO, NATO would still stand without the United States. The problem is what he doesn't understand, what they don't understand is that what they could do to us economically is ridiculous. What everyone can, it's just sad to watch these people struggle. These people who think the world exists from the 19th century. It's a different world. Europe can stand on its own. It doesn't need us, really, economically. That's why you're seeing reach outs to the Chinese, economic ties being made in South America by the Chinese. The Chinese know what's going on here. Our American president don't. The tariff thing is ridiculous. That's what's cost us everything here. Now, we had a trade deficit of plus 95%, 97%, almost double trade deficit. Why? Because no one's doing business in the United States. They won't do business with Trump. Now with the tariffs, we're still bringing the imports because we still have stuff we have to bring in and we're paying the cost. But economically, we're fucked. Then I don't care what Trump says. It is ridiculous what he says. He went to Iowa to do a campaign speech, I guess, again, because that's all he can do. And he said everything is okay. That's right. Economy's great. Everything's great. I don't know what you guys are talking about. Meanwhile, back on the farm, farmers can't sell their soybeans. They're screwed. They're about ready to go out of business, but a lot of them still support Trump. It's a mess. Economically, we're literally a car on its last legs. We're puttering along. Putt, putt, putt. I don't know what's going to happen when the fucking engine falls out of the car, because it's going to happen. Economically, it's not looking good. Prices are too high. This is how they deal with prices. Okay, this is how they deal with prices. We keep talking about how high prices are. Okay, and then what do they do? They say, well, Americans need to figure it out. What is the Secretary of Agriculture talking about? You could eat, a piece of chicken, piece of broccoli, and a tortilla, and that'd be fine. You can live on $15 a day. Then they revised it and said, yeah, Americans can be fine, and it'll be $30 a day. They're blaming us for their economic ignorance. They are trying to take away all kinds of SNAP benefits, any kind of help, Medicaid, Medicare, because they basically have looted the Treasury. That whole Doge thing was basically a robbery, and no one talks about it. Why? Because Congress is inept. With the Republicans in Congress, they don't do their job. They're supposed to be an independent part of the country, of the government, as a check and balance to the judiciary and the executive. They don't act like that, especially Mike Johnson. Okay, Speaker Mike Johnson, if he's not on Grindr, is basically a lapdog for Trump. And, we're about to shut down the government in 24 hours. And because they're trying to get the budget through, and all of a sudden, because of what happened in Minneapolis, They finally figured out, yeah, ICE is a problem. You think? You think? There are two dead people murdered on TV, on live. Renee Good and Alex Peretti murdered. And now Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer and Cory Booker thinks it's a problem. Yeah, it's a fucking problem. It's not about training ICE. It's not about putting body cams on them. They're not a legitimate law enforcement agency. They're not doing what they're supposed to do. They're outside of their parameters of law enforcement. They don't enforce law. Their job is immigration checks. That's it. They doing warrantless entries to homes. Well, we got a warrant. No, you got a piece of paper signed by someone else. That's violence in the streets. The only reason you see these violence is that these guys go out of the way to antagonize people. They drive down the streets. People flip them off. They stop and counter them. People protest in front of the building there, the ICE building in Minneapolis or the federal building in Minneapolis, and they walk off federal property and attack protesters who are not doing anything to them other than tell them, go fuck yourself, which is our legal right to do that. I had someone ask me, we were talking about comments about ICE and stuff. And they were asking me, someone made a comment about what ICE is doing wrong. What if they violate? Explain it to me. Show me the statute that they're violating, because they keep saying they can do this under U.S. and whatever, which says they can't, honestly, look at the fine print. Okay. And he said, he says, why? Okay, I'll tell you. It's simple. First Amendment, Second Amendment, Fourth Amendment, Fifth Amendment, and the 10th Amendment, which gives states rights to do what they fucking want within their states without the federal government fucking with them. They're fucking with Minnesota because they wanted to fuck with Tim Walz. And it blew up in their face. That's what's going on right now. The murder of Alex Peretti blew up in their fucking face. The murder of Renee Good. I will say this. Renee Good became a sacrificial lamb that no one cares about. Why? Because she was a white lesbian woman. Sorry, that's a fact. Okay? But the last words I'll always remember that woman, the precious lady, was, I'm not mad at you, dude. I'm not mad. She smiled at him before he put 4 slugs in her. When she tried to pull away from him. Okay? And the last thing Alex Peretti was trying to protect a woman in the streets from ICE agents who were just beating her because she was taking their pictures and just showing him what was going on. And that cost him his life. And they're going to talk about that he had a gun. Yeah, he had a weapon. He was legally had a weapon. He could have a weapon. Period. He was licensed. He could have it. He was trained. But you murdered him in cold motherfucking blood. And everyone saw it. And you can't spin that motherfucker. And that's what costing you right now. Just pieces of shit. Okay? And that's why everyone's in panic mode right now in the White House. Okay? Kristi Noem is running for cover. Even Nosferatu himself, Stephen Miller, is running for cover because they fucked up. They fucked up pretty much about the entire American people. Okay. Understand. Americans really don't like to be fucked with. We don't. We are fine if we can do our own thing within the law. Honestly. We get upset when people violate the law or hurt people we love. We get upset when you tell us what we can't do without a good reason. We want to work. We want to make sure everyone's taken care of in a family. We take care of the poor and the sick. And we want just a decent life that America has promised us. Our lives. Okay? To raise our children, to have a decent life. But the very rich and the very stupid have taken that from us. The very rich always want more. There's never enough for them. Never enough. They're literally parasites sucking us dry. I don't know what they're going to do when they run out of blood. And the very poor or the very stupid think that those people sucking their blood are doing them a favor. They're not. The rest of us are fighting it off. And honestly, Minneapolis was fine until that motherfucker, uh, so-called blogger, Nick, whatever his name, did that bit looking for Somalis and so-called daycare, something that had been adjudicated 5 years ago. And the ringleader, who was a white woman, went to jail. Alba went to jail. He's at it again, by the way. Going to this motherfucker is going to medical buildings and sees all these different medical buildings and says there's kind of conspiracy going on. What the fuck is wrong with you people? What drives your fucking minds? It's not going to work. All right. We know you're a fucking piece of shit. It doesn't work. Okay. And the people are protesting in the streets because they've had it. It's peaceful protest, and they're still protesting in 0-degree weather out there in Minneapolis. My respects to them. Okay. And it's breaking out all over the country. You don't see it on the press because they keep hiding it because they've taken over the mass media. That's why people like myself and everyone else, independent media, that's why they're trying to hang Don Lemon out to dry, which won't work because you strike him down, he's going to become bigger than ever. Okay. The far right podcasters have nothing left to say. Nothing left. They got dick. And that's where we're at right now. And it's going to get worse before it gets better. I apologize if that's true. But you could see it's rolling up. The end game is starting to roll. Trump is in panic mode. That's why you see this thing about Melania's movie. That's why you see this thing about the lawsuit against the IRS for his tax returns. That's why you see all the things he wants us to see. Look over here, look over here, look over here. Hey, maybe I'll bomb Iran. You see what I'm saying, y'all? That's panic running through the White House because their lies aren't working and people are getting aggravated. And the thing about it is that from a standpoint of people will be uncomfortable with is that they have not seen black faces really on the streets that much. These are people, they have really crossed the line where everyone to them is the same. If you're not with Trump, you're against it. They were really hoping for another, what happened after George Floyd was killed. They really wanted that. But it's not going to happen. And people, a lot of people over the time has questioned about peaceful protesting. A lot of people were saying it's time, fuck it, no more peaceful protest. But if you notice, the peaceful protesting that unfortunately cost the lives of Renee Good and Alex Peretti and others, there's a list. Those who have died of detention, those who have been killed that no one knows. And it's going to be, but the protests are still peaceful, even though they're screaming at them. Those guys, ICE people, are freaking beta males and better females. If you're so, whatever, why don't I see your face? Don't give me that shit. You're afraid to be blah, blah, blah. Fuck you. Regular law enforcement can't do it. No, because you're fucking lawless. They set you up as lawless. That's going to come back to bite you in the ass. Because here's the thing. Once all this is done, and it will end, these regimes cannot fucking continue. There is going to be no regular justice for you. It will be special justice, like after World War II. Okay? Our version of the Nuremberg trials. Our version of what happened at the end of apartheid. We will remember, and we are taking names. And you guys are going to pay a price. You think you're getting away with shit? You're getting a little money because you can't get a regular job because you're too dumb to get a regular job, right? And you get to play Call of Duty and all that. Nah, it's coming to a head. And the thing, you could see that within the Trump administration with Tom Homan is now out in Minneapolis trying to tamp it down, but Trump the other day is still bringing it back up. They don't. He knows he's in trouble. The elections. I'm not worried about the midterm. They're going to happen. I'm going to say this. They're going to happen, and people will be out there. And ICE may want to intimidate people in lines. That ain't going to work. People are not afraid of ICE. They're not afraid of them until, when they start throwing gas grenades and rubber bullets, yeah, people are going to duck. But if you notice, even when they start throwing gas grenades and throwing it back at them, you notice people stand up to them and say, what are you going to do? There's one incident where they came out of the federal building and one guy's, what are you going to do about it? He put his gun in the guy's face. What are you going to do? He had a gun right here. The guy put it away because he knew he would have fucked up. But the protester stood there and said, what you going to do? They don't get it. Americans are feisty. We really don't like to be told what the fuck to do. Honestly. And you overstepped it. And people are realizing it. And the thing about it is, they keep saying, well, it's only those people of color. No, you're their neighbors. You're not fucking with their neighbors anymore. And you guys are doing warrantless search. And let me be honest. There's a generation of people that were raised on crime shows. Let's be honest. And we know the concept of a warrant. Whenever we don't have a warrant, you can't knock down the door. You get in trouble for that. You can't sell that shit unless you're hardcore MAGA, and they're a fucking cult anyway. So we know that, it won't matter. It won't matter to them. So, I mean, people, this is not going to be an easy fight. We know that. I know that. I mean, I go out here in Georgia. I'm hoping I don't run across some asshole that sides. Because they're in Georgia, but they're a little more low-key. But people vanish. Doesn't take much. I don't have a real ID. I have my fucking driver's license. I don't have a passport. I mean, if they decide you're fucked, well, I'm going to try something. Because, I mean, bury me in the sea with my ancestors because death is preferable to bondage. You know what I'm talking about. You're a nerd like I am. And so that's crazy. We live in crazy times. Okay. But it's crazy because, as someone said, this is an extinction burst. This is the things that happen. Stephen Miller's on the outs. Kristi Noem was on the outs because they embarrassed the Trump administration, the Trump regime. Trump doesn't know what to do. The Epstein files are coming out. Even though they tried to get rid of the worst of them today, people still saw it. People took pictures of it. The internet, as soon as it hits the thing, doesn't matter if you hit that next button. Nanoseconds are centuries. Fucking centuries. You're too late. And that's the thing. Trump can't fight that. The economy is coming back soon to bite him in the ass. Can't fight that off, dude. Can't. People got to eat. People got to have a job. You can't sell your bullshit. People aren't buying it. Okay. We see it. We see the grift. All right. That's why people are mad. They're mad. And today in Nebraska, a high school walked out and a Trump supporter ran over a kid. And how do we know it's a Trump supporter? Motherfucker had a Trump sign sticking out of his SUV, or she. And as soon as the kid was there, just ran him off. The Trump sign fell off. They will find you. And you cannot say anything about the political. You're going to go to jail. Okay, because you ran over a child. That's desperate. People get upset about that. What does that mean for our society? It means that one person fucked up and is going to go to jail. Because we still have laws in this country, whether you believe it or not. And a lot of local law enforcement are getting tired of this bullshit because not reflect well on us. Now, big cities law enforcement like LAPD's chief of police is kind of leaning toward why. I don't get it. He's going to find out soon. Hopefully, Karen Bass will do something about it. But the point I'm saying is, and I wanted to be more uplifting than most people will get on it, because most lives, especially you see that, and I hate these ones. You know, I mean, I had one live I couldn't wait to block. I saw couldn't wait to block. Um, the picture was a picture of Alex Peretti, and he said, and the live person is going, "Did he deserve to die? Was he a criminal?" I couldn't wait to block that fucker. That's what they do with lives. The only reason I'm doing that is because there's a lot of shit I cannot do on videos. Okay. Yes, I have a paid subscription here on Substack, 538 US. If you want to join it, great. $8 a month. I'm great. But I'm not putting shit behind a paywall. Okay. A lot of people do that. All right. This is me. Could I use the $8 a month from people to help me sort? Yeah, of course. Shit ain't easy. Trust me, I got medical bills. Woo! $10,000 medical bills up between my wife and me. But also, I don't. But also means that I do something right. So I mean that's what I'm saying. The people out there that are supporting Trump are a minority. They seem to be a majority. I know TikTok's kind of fucked up because they're still fucking with the algorithm. It's owned by Larry Ellis now, Trump pumper. But that's not going to save them. The other thing's going to save them. If the momentum is shifting, okay, the momentum is shifting, and you can feel it. You go, well, I don't see it. Yeah, I know. This is what happens when they flop around. Trump is desperate. He knows it. His life is on a short leash. You can feel it. Okay. We're not putting up with this gaudy bullshit anymore. I mean, I saw Nod, what is it? Minaj go to the White House. That's not going to help you. All right. Yeah, I know. Scotland, that's right, Vincent. U.S. relations around the world will take decades to fix. That Scotland situation comes to mind. Yeah. The only word, I don't know what the hell's going on in Scotland. I can't even find enough information on it. Yeah, it's going to take decades. And one of the ways we're going to take decades is that we have Nuremberg style trials for everyone tied to the last Trump administration. Every ICE agent, every political official, you're going to get it. And there's a lot of Republicans think they're going to get away with this. I saw one Republican in Florida. He was at an angry town hall. And the last thing he wanted to say before I leave the stage, Ice Ice Baby. Oh, people wanted to lynch him. He thinks he's funny. A lot of people still think that, hey, they're getting rid of criminals. When I hear them talk, they don't even say it from here. It's fucking wind up toy. It's bullshit. You know it's bullshit. I know it's bullshit. Okay. That's why they go after Don Lemon, independent media. That's why they go with people filming them and trying to put them in jail. Because the truth is out there already. You can't hide the truth. This is different from the last fascist movements because you cannot really can only manipulate media so much because look where I'm at right now. You see what I'm saying? It's out there. You can't control unless you're going to pull the plug on the entire internet. Good luck because you know how commerce works now. And Trump, they do stupid shit. They're not smart. They've been pushing this up fast and hard, and people aren't buying the bullshit. And you have the most incompetent people running your crap. Why? Because competent people don't want to. We're in the first Trump administration and fought you every inch of the way because they knew you were unconstitutional. The Constitution matters to people, even they're conservative. The Bill of Rights matter to us. We, the people, matter to us. Okay? From the shadow. Let's see here. I heard they took the Russians from the shadow fleet from the Scott. I never heard of a shadow fleet. We have a shadow fleet in Scotland? Huh. The Russians have problems too because they're having to strip their Air Force and other supports because they're running out of troops for the Ukraine. They're fucked. That's where you're going to see more push from Trump administration about Ukraine and all that because Russia's desperate. Ukrainians just have to hold on. Hold on with like this. Okay. But I just want to get on here and tell you guys that, okay? I know it's bad. Fuck, I know it's a mess. You see it every day. You see that. And a lot of people, much like Aaron Parnas, you're a little doomy, okay? A lot of people on TikTok, they come the worst case scenario. When I heard about Don Lemon, I'm thinking, you fucked up because he ain't going to jail. No judge. If a judge wouldn't sign up as warrant, you had to go to a fucked up grand jury. Good luck getting him in jail. And if you get him in front of a jury, good luck. He's going to be strike me down. I'll be more powerful than I was before. And that's what's going to happen with Don Lemon. Okay. Happening with Jim Acosta. Happening with Katie Fane. All you people that you keep trying to get rid of, they come back bigger and stronger because people are hearing them. Because here's the thing. The reason that you have these conservative people, conservative mouthpieces like Joe Rogan and all those people, Don Bongini, who's things trying to come, whatever his name, but Bongini, fuck him, coming back thinking they're going to get back the same audience. You're not going to get the same audience because your bullshit doesn't roll. Your bullshit, they're not buying your bullshit. It's over. And then the violence, not perpetrated by the people there. I'm going to say this straight up. If you ever wanted a confirmation of peaceful protesting and how it works as per what Gandhi did to the British in India and what Martin Luther King embraced during the civil rights movement, it's now. Okay? Because the civil rights movement, especially we know, showed the regime as violent against peaceful protest. You know that. You saw it. The John J. Pettis Bridge. The protesters didn't start the riot. The police did. They beat people. All right. Birmingham. Okay. The bombing of the church in Mississippi that killed 4 girls in a basement. People began to see, hey, you guys are online. We not listen to you. These guys aren't communists. They're just asking for basic civil rights. Now we come fast forward here. Now a lot of it gets swept under the rug because they're people of color. Let's be honest. I mean, this is people of color. Then you have the George Floyd protests or riots, which were done by far rights. You know that. And people say, see, now we're here. And what's going on is that people of color backed off. And you went after white people, Caucasians, for all reason they just leave us alone. You went to Minnesota thinking they were going to be an easy target. And you found out, nah, they don't want to mess with their neighbors and leave us alone. And you can see that. And then you murdered 2 of them. You murdered 2 of them for no reason other than your agents were pissy and not trained and had weapons and decided that killing them was worth it. Can't win this because with peaceful protesting, you can't win it. Yeah, you can't. They can't even send the military in. They want to, but they can't because there's no insurrection. It's just people protesting. They can call an insurrection ad, but it's not going to work. It's not. 1, let me make this clear. We're bigger. 2, people don't see that. They're not going to buy the shit. They're protesting. They're walking. You're the government for causing this. It's simple as that. And the other thing too, Minneapolis, they're ready in other cities. Yeah, they're kind of doing a little bit of Philly and Maine. They're having problems in Maine. They're going to have problems in Philadelphia. They're having problems everywhere. People are pushing back. Why? Because it's unconstitutional. That's the one thing that Americans take very hard. We believe in the Constitution. That piece of paper is what we're built on. Hamilton was right. That's what we need. The Constitution means that we're loyal to what we are. Not a king, not a president, not a politician. We're loyal to the idea of the United States of America as written in the Constitution with our rights and how we function in the 3 equal branches of government and the way we can redress our problems to higher ups peacefully and fair. That's been around for 250 fucking years. and now you're going to tell us it's wrong. And all, we were a lot of people were kind of sleeping through it. Now they're woke. And I mean in the sense I'm not talking about that right wing bullshit. They're awake and they're pissed and they're saying no. They don't want to go back to where it was. Maybe you're never gonna go back to where it was. But sure as fuck ain't gonna go where they want. Because you can take your Christian fascist evangelical shit and shove it up your ass. Because for me, who is a Christian, who believes in Jesus, and looking forward to meeting my mom and dad hopefully again, and my brother and family, I believe in what Jesus said. Welcome, feed the hungry, tend to the sick, welcome the stranger. That's where we're winning. Okay. My thing is always whenever I sign off with Mike or do this, is there's more of us than there is of them. There is. They're louder, but we're getting loud too. They don't know how to deal with us. They don't. They really don't know what to do with us. They don't know what to do with Americans right now. Okay. It's hard. They don't know because we're not what they thought. They thought we were, um, docile. They thought they could take all this from us. No, they can't take this from us. We fight for it. Civil rights movement was a fight for it for everyone. All right. But you never lost concept of the Constitution. All right. All the rights that we retained, we fought for because it's a way we had to revisit the Constitution. That's what we live by. That's what's still there. And I take heart in it. Now, is it going to be easy fight? No. Donald Trump is a pig. His people around him are piglets. And they're going to they want that trough. But we are going to win this. Because that's who we are. We don't put up with shit. Tired of putting up with shit. We are tired of putting up with shit. And I'm going to tell you one thing. I saw Bruce Springsteen put out a new song right away called The Streets of Minneapolis. It's right in the vein of Nebraska. I'm a huge Bruce Springsteen fan. I saw his last concert in Los Angeles at the Coliseum in the Born in the USA tour. 3 hours of I will still never forget it. Amazing. But his message is still the same, that we are the people. We are the government. We dictate what goes on. We look after each other. That's always been his music. They tried to pervert Born in the USA, and he told them, go fuck yourselves. Can't take that because it's not about that. Okay? All of it. It's just, you can't do it. And the song is cold. It is raw. And I'm going to try to play for you. I'm not a good tech guy, but I'm going to try to see here. I got on my phone, try to get it to the mics. Tell me if you can hear it. If you can hear it, great. But I'm going to turn it because this one, I believe, has the lyrics, and I want you to see it at the same time I play it, because that's how I'm going to end this live today. Because that says everything. That's it. This is the beginning of our comeback, our revolution, our returning us back to what we were, even better. It's simple as that. And I give you this to you today because it's been a tough day. It's been a tough week. It's been a tough month. But the government's about to shut down because of incompetence in fighting. We're still going to win this, regardless of the Democratic leadership, and definitely regardless of Trump and the Republicans. Because what's going to come out in the end is a better United States. And it'll take us years to rebuild it to the way it should be. But I think, like what happened after the New Deal, we're going to rebuild this because we see how bad it can get. So let me play this. Tell me if you can hear it. I got as high as I can, and let's go. Through the winter, it's ice and cold. Down the gutter,
A city in a flame for fire and ice. And then I can find King Trump's private army from the DHS. Guns built into the code. Came to Minneapolis to enforce the law. Or so the story goes. It's taking rubber bullets in the dawn's early light. Season stood for justice. Their voices ringing through the night. What a mercy should have stood. I'm too dead left to die on snow-filled streets. Now it's pretty in the day. Take a stand for this land and the stranger in our midst. Remember the names of those who died on the streets of Minneapolis. Trump's words, Peter Paul, his face on his chest. We heard the gunshots, and I was pretty mistaken. The dream filled with fancy. Just don't believe your eyes. It's our bones and these whistles and phones against bitter and hopes to leave lies. Those who died, as we turn. They say they're here to uphold the law, but they trample on our rights. If your skin is black or brown, my friend, you can be questioned or deported on sight. In our chains of ice, our city's heart and soul pulses through broken glass and bloody tears on the streets of Minneapolis. You take a stand for this land and strange days. On the streets of on the streets of
Okay. Um, those of you join, I'm sorry. Let's gotta get going and do a couple of things before everyone comes back home. Thank you for listening. Those of you who support me, again, you can find me at Binder 38 US here in Substack, Binder 38 US on YouTube. Um, this is our time. So I'm going to end this really simple. for everyone. Thank you for joining me. This will be up on YouTube and Substack in a little while, clips too. But everyone together, fuck ICE, fuck Trump, and God bless America. You all be safe, and I will see you guys soon. Thank you for listening, and please take care.